Hey, welcome back from a long holiday. Today we're on episode 123. This is the year of magical learning. Today we want to talk about life on Earth. So take it away.
Life on Earth. Oh, the short history of nearly everything. Yeah. So the book that we're going to be talking about today is A Short History of Nearly Everything by the author Bill Bryson. So I don't know if I can officially call him my favorite author, but he's certainly got to be in the top three. I would personally think if you put a banana peel in my head and maybe say who's your favorite author, I probably would say Bill Bryson. So I love.
So how does he
He's,
compare to?
To Love makes me think a lot, and it's provocative, and I like his interesting mix of philosophy, history, his own personal cultural stuff, and then math. I like his interesting concoction that comes together from a practical application standpoint. His soul's in the game, right? And I respect that. He comes up with some really brilliant ideas, and he stirs the creative juices. Like Bill Bryson doesn't stir my creative juices necessarily. He just mesmerizes me with learning. It's like a learning bonanza of where, and somehow he just makes it enjoyable. I don't even know that I can describe like a Bill Bryson book. It just feels like you're on a lazy river, just floating along, and somebody's just hand picking out this like beautiful curated knowledge, and it's like, hey, you want to learn about this? Here you go. You want to learn about that? Yeah. Here you go. And it's not too fast. It's a nice flowing story too that he always tells. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I would describe a Bill Bryson book other than that, but it just feels really comforting.
I think it's pretty accurate. Yeah, pretty accurate. I don't know. He kind of navigates the histories.
Yeah,
in those nuggets, and kind of give you one piece like a breadcrumbs. Follow.
You learn so much. Like the funny thing about Bill Bryson books is like you learn so much, but at the same time, I don't remember nearly as much from like a Bill Bryson book as I do from like a Nassim Taleb book, because his provocation makes me think, and I get way more creative ideas out of it. I don't get a lot of creative ideas listening to a Bill Bryson book. I just enjoy it. It's just fun. It's enjoyable,
So I mean, it's like you look at the Taleb book. You basically say, hey, these are the diamond in the rough, and I'm basically showing you where it is and showing you how to find it. So you look at the map, and he tells you like the hidden things, the secrets of how do you see, how you in like look at a certain angle, and this is like the treasures and the hidden gems, right? World, the universe that he's pointing it out, and because of that, it really makes it memorable, just because it's so contrast to what we see every day. But Bill Bryson, he takes things that is so boring and kind of orchestrate in a way that it's like, hey, it's pretty
really hard to describe. I mean, you're right. There's no mind-bending things that you learn, in a he's just recapping history, But anyway, let's get to the reflection. But I think you're spot on with the Bill Bryson description here. So, but on with the description. My reflection title for this one is Life Goes On. And basically this book's about, like what the title says, is a short history of nearly everything. It goes from like the Big Bang to the rise of civilization. He studies all these anthropologists, archaeologists, reads their books, tries to compile it all in a short, compact history of nearly everything from start to finish of humanity. Of course, he doesn't touch on everything, but it is a really broad range of topics, and it's just a fun, but it does touch on a lot. So I started this reflection off by saying, on a scale, like we were just talking about, on a scale of 1 to 10, like the learning in particular aspect of this particular book was like a 50. I mean, it was just off the charts. Like you just learn just so much stuff. Like, I mean, the knowledge dump that goes into your head is like, mind blowing, as you're kind of meandering this journey going on this meandering journey with Bill. But we've already talked about Bill Bryson and why that's the first half of the reflection of just why I love it. The one thing that kept sticking out to me as he was talking about microorganisms and physics and the Big Bang and protons and proteins and DNA and all the stuff that he was going through, the one thing that kept coming back to my head while I was reading this entire book is like, I don't know what the purpose of life is, and this isn't the goal of this journey. And I'm not even going to pretend to sit here. If you ever meet somebody that says the purpose of life is this, probably run the other direction. However, this book made me ponder, like, this world is so complex, and like there's so many different unique animals and organisms and microbiomes and bacteria and fungi and whatever, all these other things, right? There's just so many different life forms in this world, and they're all really unique and special in their own way. The thing that I kept thinking about when I was listening to this book, though, is he was describing like the different eras when they would find, I can't remember what they were called, when they would find like the little organisms that they could tell a certain life. You know, we learned in like the not the soul of an octopus, but what's that book about the octopus, the tree of life, and you know how like octopus, you know, everything's kind of on the same tree of life, and it just branched off and went in different directions and evolved and formed different things. And anyway,
you mean the other minds?
The other minds, yes,
other
that
minds?
was what it was.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, like my brain was just pondering, like, you know, what the hell is the point of all this? Like, you know, and I don't know what the answer is, but it felt like to me, for whatever reason, like the goal of life is just to exist. You know what I mean? And it never stops. Like it doesn't matter how many organisms and how many species and how many, you know, things come and go in this world. Like nobody's ever going to last forever. Human beings are going to last forever. I don't know how long we have. I don't really care. At the end of the day, there's going to be somebody that replaces us and some other life form that bubbles up from somewhere. It just goes on. And there's something refreshing to know that that's the one thing that I can always count on, is like, it's going to be here. There's going to be new things evolving. There's going to be new things that are going to take our place in the future. There's going to be new species that come out of nowhere that nobody ever saw and can never even imagine at this point in time in life. There's going to be new ecosystems that develop. There's going to be all this stuff. And it always just happens like magically. And things just come from nowhere and go live their life, fall apart. But at the same time, the rest of life itself goes on. That was what I thought about when I was reading this book. Like it was just a great tour of life itself from start to finish and all the different things that it touch on. And it's just really kind of special to know that we're a part of this and we're going to play our own little tiny role. I wrote the last line in here: if life can keep going, so can I. You know, like, I don't know, there's something really kind of special about the idea of just knowing that you're a part of this thing called life and that it's going to go on past our time, like our conversations today. But somebody else will have a great conversation in 500,000 million years from now. You know, I don't know who will be talking or how they talk. So it's just cool. That it's a provocative thought for the day. So question for you would be, or anybody listen would be, how does all the life in this world inspire you as well? So yeah, just throwing it out there. Love to get your thoughts.
I think one of the that comes to mind is when you look at life, right? Life itself. This is the question I asked before: is do you think humanity will cease to exist? A lot of people is debating me on that, and my own opinion on this is that it will always exist in one form or another, whether we are suffering or we are succeeding in building our culture and civilization further into who knows what. And I think that's always going to be there because it's the cycle of life. You know, when you are born, right, you have part in the ecosystem, and that ecosystem is going to continue to have your input, and you know, your input will create output, and whatever those cycles connect, it will connect, and it will continue to go on and on. No one can predict the beginning of time, and no one can predict the end of time. And if anyone tells you that, they just basically
just shit at the wall. I mean,
there's no evidence. There's no evidence in that, right? There's no concrete evidence in any of that. You're talking about Big Bang Theory and you're talking about the end of the world. That could be symbolic. Who knows? A lot of people take it as literal, say, "Hey, it's gonna be end of the world," just like a dinosaur.
I don't even know that that'll be the case. Like, as long as there's one cell in this universe or one organism, life just finds a way to exist. Like, I don't know how it does it, and I don't know why it does it. It just exists. Like, and its goal is to exist. Like, I mean, DNA will exist in some way, shape, or form. Proteins will exist in some way, shape, or form. The universe will go on.
The thought that comes to mind is the endurance of life. It is super amazing. To me, I can count on it being here today, tomorrow, and many days in the future, infinite days in the future.
Right.
So talking about the whole ecosystem and life in general, that's something that we can count on. There's going to be life that is going to continue for infinite, bound of time. We don't know it's going to end, right? And that's the thing, is we just don't know enough. We don't have the information. But in the microscopic sense of life, for me, it's like when we ask, or even if we do ask, what's the purpose of my life? It's not about the purpose of life in general. No one can answer that question, is what the purpose of life. But you can answer the question, what is the purpose of my life? Right?
Agreed.
And it's going to be a different answer for different people. And the answer is going to be right for that person.
Right.
It's not going to be right for other people, but it's going to be right for that person. And so to me, that brings me to second thought of the microscopic lens on life itself is what is the purpose of life? And the first question is, do we even ever to stop and ask ourselves that question, what is the purpose of my life? Don't ask a question of what's the purpose of life in general. Who cares?
Right.
I don't care.
I don't know that I care, but there's something refreshing knowing that like it's going to be there. Like I don't know why it's there,
right,
but
at the same time, they need to know how that is going to play part in your life. That's why you want to know. If it doesn't have any relationship or any connection to your life in particular, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care.
No,
a single bit. If you're talking about, let's say, if you say, hey, there is some kind of animal form in a billion universe to the east of ours, do we care? We don't care because it doesn't affect our life here.
You could say that about everything that happens. Like in Kentucky, like, does it affect your life? No, like, who cares? Like, like
the interest comes in is whenever you think it may help you, just like we studied the fungi, the bacteria, because hey, fungi, bacteria has something we can learn from them that may help us. Talking about how bacteria is able to defend viruses. So that's why, we studied the bacteria and how it grows. We studied fungi and its network, and we studied trees in the network because we're hoping somehow that information is gonna help us, with our life, and that's why the interest that. So, but you talk about the galaxy, like a million light years away from us. There may be information we can benefit from, but there's no way for us to get it. So that's why we don't care until it becomes like, hey, there is a possibility that it's gonna help us in our life. So that comes back to the topic that comes to my mind is the microscopic lens of what is the purpose of my life, right? And like I said, different people will have different answers, and their answer will be perfectly right for them. And so to me, an individual journey for that, they can decide how and what and when they want to take that journey. Like, we're talking about the quest, like, the life's quest. Like everybody's going to have to go on a life's quest.
Yeah.
You have to be a participant. You can't just, hey, I don't want to be a participant. I want to be a player. That is not possible if you have life, right? Once you have life, you have chosen to enter into the quest of life, and you're gonna have to ask the question: is what is my purpose of life? And for me, primarily, is to enjoy the time I have on Earth, and that's to find things that make me feel good, makes my body not kick me in the shin or in the brain just because I did something stupid, and then I have regrets, and that's my brain kicking me. And so I don't want to have my internal mind and organs and whatever giving me this feedback that hurts, right? I don't want that. So for me, is I gotta find what it is that I'm fitted and best fitted to perform in terms of the work I do. Because of that, it provides positive feedback to my body. My body say, hey, you are fitted for this thing, you are excelling this thing. It makes me feel good. To me, that's my purpose. And it could be, not a good example of a life purpose, but your purpose could be different. Your purpose could be saving the world. Your purpose could be, conquest, or your purpose could be, Mother Teresa. Whatever it is that floats your boat, you go and find that purpose. Find your purpose, not life purpose in general. And so for me, life is awesome and life is enduring. It's always gonna be there, but make the best out of your life.
Right. Agreed.
In the spectrum of life in general.
Play your role and know that role is valuable. I mean, I don't know why it's valuable, but like I know that it is valuable. And,
it's valuable to you because that's your lens, that's your perspective, right? Because like right now, like if there's no me, there's no Chris, the life still goes on. It doesn't matter if I exist or don't exist, right? So my life does not matter in the grand scheme. It just matters to me.
It does at the same time because it's one of the same.
It does
for a part of life.
In the grand scheme of thing, it doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I don't exist. I was existing in my place. You understand?
I understand that, but at the same time,
so the universe don't need to have me. But it need to have somebody like me.
It needs to have life. And it will have life. Some form of life, like whether or not.
But not this specific life. That's not this specific person. right? So that's why I say, in the grand scheme of things, depending on what lenses you're looking through, you may see the important changes just because the lens shows you different perspectives. It doesn't matter if I exist or I don't exist, because there's going to be another similar True or similar Chris, whoever, it doesn't matter, because life still goes on with or without you. But at the same time, like it cannot be, okay, well, there's no human, there's no this or no beaver or whatever, we're talking about. There's an ecosystem that every single type of species has to play a part in to make the ecosystem work, to make the engine run, right? Without that engine, it could decelerate quickly and spiral out of control into one where it destroys itself totally. But from a one instance of life, me, i.e. me and you, it doesn't matter. But for all the instances, it does.
So therefore we matter.
We matter collectively.
Right. But if we matter collectively, then we matter individually. And then I'm not saying that you and I in particular matter, but we matter in general. Like, I mean,
we matter. I don't matter, but we matter.
Which means that we matter at the same time. So it's I know exactly what you're saying, and I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know that I have the right words to describe what I'm trying to say, but when you were talking, I was thinking, you remember the movie Men in Black, when at the you know what I'm talking about? The last scene when they're in the bus locker and they shut the universe, with the key. Like the whole thing was like Orion's belt, the key. It was like a key, right? And they went to the locker and they shut the locker, and then they zoomed out. There's like one locker inside of like 500 other lockers inside of other lockers. That's the way that I've almost seen the universe at this point in time. I don't know that we haven't already lived this exact same. Maybe New York City has been built. I just came back from New York City. Maybe New York City has been built an infinite number of times, and we just don't even know it. I don't know. I have no idea what's happened, what's come before us, and what's going to come after us. And I don't know that I really care. But I think what is really cool, though, is to know that there will be something that comes after us, and there was something that came before us, and then we came from that, and we play our own little part to move the needle, the teeniest little tiny notch, in whatever direction it needs to go.
The quantum knot.
Is that what it's called?
You know what a quant is? Well, a quant from Taleb's term is different from the quant in quantum, right? Quant is quantitative analysis in terms of Taleb's and how he used it. A quantum is in terms of what I refer to is a quant in physics.
Choices, right? Isn't that like 4 different choices of each different choice or something like that? I read the Astrophysicist. I read like Astrophysicists for Dummies or something, and it's like, here, quantum mechanics. It's called quantum, I think, because there's like 4 different like outcomes that can come from each different outcome, and that's why it's like. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not even gonna pretend to even know anything about this, but yeah. So, like, I mean, honestly, this isn't a really deep, reflection today, but like at the same time, it is kind of a deep reflection.
Amazing, because the thing is, you're part of this amazing, enduring life that is completely unique, but also completely resilient, right? Life is resilient. It's super resilient. You cannot extinguish. Cockroach is part of the life. Right. And so it's so resilient that you can't get rid of it just because you wanted to. And the lesson here is the amazing endurance of life, right? Yeah. And life has that, and we are part of that endurance. Therefore, we should be able to endure anyhow when we found, the why that we look for, right? Right. And to me, that's the lessons in this discussion is, what is your purpose of life, and how wonderful it is to put out a lifeline that is so enduring, that is millions, billions, who knows, trillions of years ago, and it still continues to go. Because the thing is, everything has a half-life, and everybody knows what a half-life is. Everything is go half by half. That means that if it's a billion years that we have come, right, there's easily the chance of to go another billion years is so possible. It is very rare to kind of abruptly end it, just because the half-life theory of, and then half-life means double, is also double. So the lifespan of something, the longer it lasts, the more chance it is to double it. And so for a lifeline to go from billions and even trillion years ago and to progress into what we get to today, that means they're going to be here tomorrow and billion years afterward. And that's something we can be proud to be a part of that ecosystem. And then inside of the ecosystem, taking from a macro level to a micro level is how can I play a part in it that will make my life something that I can,
meaningful.
Meaningful to you. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I think like, as we've been talking, I just feel honored to be a part of it. I don't
it's
care.
one of those things. You have an incredible opportunity just to be part of this amazing enduring life, and for you to exist in this lifetime, to be here on Earth.
400 trillion, 1 in 400 trillion for you to exist. Like for life itself to exist is probably like 1 in, I don't even know how many numbers,
zillions or whatever, right?
And so I don't even, there probably is no number. Like, there is no number. I mean, it's so improbable that, that anything in all the things in this world exists, and it's just pretty cool. Like it's pretty fucking amazing that you and I can sit here and talk to each other.
So take that perspective. Take that perspective. Hey, you got this opportunity. Why are we so gloomed with our aspect of life? Think about it. You're having this opportunity. What are you doing with it? That's the questions of the day is in my mind when you say life goes on. Does it inspire you to say, hey, I'm part of this unique opportunity that is unheard of. You just say, hey, I can't be here just because I wanted to. Luck, so much luck and chance for you to exist in today's society, in today's lifeline. And if you have the thought of saying, hey, my life sucks, I have to do this, I have to do that. Well, maybe you should think about how you came to be and what is an honor it is to be part of this, and an honor to have an opportunity to catch that lottery ticket to exist on Earth.
It's just special. Everybody's special. Everything is special. Everything has a purpose. I don't know what it is, but it does. Everybody has a role to play. It's all just to keep marching forward. I don't know why life exists. Like, I mean, that, like you said, like there's a difference between why does life exist and why does your life exist? That's a totally different question, So I don't know the first answer to that. And I don't know that we'll ever know that. I don't know that we're supposed
I don't think anyone can know the answers to why life exists. I mean, that's a question that's been asked for thousands.
It's probably been asked in an infinite number of timelines, that have already existed before us. Who the hell knows? Maybe this is just the 100th millionth New York City that I just got back from visiting. We just built the same thing over and over again, and then it wipes it out, and then we build it all over again. Like who the hell knows? I have no idea. But anyway, it's special either way.
Just know that you're special, and life is special. It's by itself. So
don't waste it. Get out there, figure out your purpose, and go live it.
Your life, right? Live your life. Don't be a living dead. Right, live your life.
Just do it.
Yes, just live.
Yeah, just live. No, I love that. I'm cool with wrapping for the night off for that one. It was a fun thought. So, how does life inspire? How does all the life in this world inspire you? It's a question we can leave with everybody. And, hope you all feel proud just to be a human, to be a life form in this world, in this universe, and whatever the hell we're in right now. So, yeah, be proud. And we will see you all tomorrow.